So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Team Unique versus Qwerty for the D2CL Champions League 2021. Also, I missed a little bit at the start of the draft here, but it doesn't matter. Middle League Cole was picked up there from Team Unique. Very surprised I didn't actually get banned out instead. It looks like Qwerty decided to remove the Beastmaster and Alina. Obviously, they themselves are two very high popular heroes. Alina's actually second most picked for Team Unique, and the Beastmaster I think is something they always tried to go for as well, but it does get banned out quite a lot. But they do manage to get the also important Cole, the super strong currently, but then Qwerty was actually able to get the Omni Knight Sven combination themselves. So that's going to be a pretty scary thing for Team Unique to have to play up against. It's got a very strong win rate. Like, normally Sven on his own has a super high win rate in this current patch, but when paired with the Omni Knight, it just bumps it up even more. So we'll see what Team Unique's going to be able to do. They do go for the Medusa themselves. It is one of those carries which can deal with the Sven quite well, not easily, but relatively well. Like, he goes onto, you pop your Stone Gaze, he's forced to disengage, and whilst he's trying to run off, you just right-click him to the ends of the earth. So it can be quite troublesome, but I mean, as I said before, he's still got the Omni Knight paired with him, so even if he gets hit by the Stone Gaze, the stat resistance of 50% is just going to make it last hardly any time at all. Especially if he has his own S and Y, if he's going to go for that. He might do. I'll have to wait and see. But I mean, obviously, Qwerty have had an absolutely terrible win rate so far this tournament. Like, they've not won a single series. They've played 5 matches so far. This is their 6th. And they've only won 1 actual game out of all of those best of 3s. So maybe today might be the day they mix things up a little bit. They can actually try and strike back. Maybe take a game off of Team Unique, who themselves aren't even doing that great. I think they're currently 3 wins and 5 losses. And this is their final matchup now. So they've really got to take this win to give themselves just the hope of being able to go through to the playoffs. I mean, 4 to 5, it's not great, but maybe it depends how the outcome of some of the other teams goes. It might be enough to keep them in it. Obviously, we have to see what the outcome of this game and what happens with the other series, but even still, every game's different, you know. But obviously, Qwerty, they've been looking a bit all over the place, really, in this current meta. So hopefully they've just had something to adjust with. Just thought about what to change up. Bring something else to the table. That would be nice to see. Because it's never really nice just getting the easy 2-0 stomps. It's not as entertaining to watch. We want entertaining notes. That's what we're here for. We're still with the second phase of bans. OD, Pango, and the Bat Rider gets removed there from Unique. Obviously, the Pango and the Bat makes perfect sense. They're very high popular heroes at the moment. But the OD, that is a hero you just do not see really at all in this current patch. But apparently Unique are afraid of it. So they decided to ban it out. I mean, it's not even much. It's kind of weird. On the Dota buff page, I would normally load up the teams and see what heroes they've been picking in this current patch, and I can sort of get an idea about what they're going for. But for some reason, Qwerty's team hasn't been registered to this tournament for the last 4 days. So there's so much information I'm actually missing out on here. So maybe they have picked up the OD before, I just wouldn't have known. It is a possibility. Even still, you know, Team Unique feel comfortable just removing the hero. Meanwhile, Qwerty take out the Brew, the Void Spirit, as well as the Shadow Shaman. I think I actually saw the Brew got played out yesterday, in fact, from Team Unique when they were playing against Bait. Petty Shara rolled with it, and he was able to do a pretty good job. I think they still ended up losing that game, but even still, it's a very disruptive hero. Like, the 2 ultimates when you get the Aghanim Scepter with the Shard, it just gives you so much like effectiveness in the fights. You can just be dealing with like 3 different heroes at the same time. It's a pretty good hero, so it is a nice ban to take it out. And quite actually go with the Clinks when you've already got a Sven. Okay, so is this a mid Clinks then? And then they're still going to have the carry Sven? I hope this isn't going to be a position 5 Sven. I really hope not. Like, we saw a team do that yesterday, or the day before. No, I think it was yesterday. And it did not work. It did not work at all. They ended up getting destroyed. So, I mean, they've already got the Omni Knights. That is pretty much guaranteed to be the 5, right? So it has to be, yeah, it must be position 1 Sven, and then the mid Clinks. Obviously, mid Clinks was a thing in the old meta. I'm not quite sure how it works out in this current patch. Maybe it's just as good. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, these are 2 quite greedy cores, you know? The Clinks needs good few items before he can actually do anything. You're not going to get any sort of early rotations out of him. So if your side lanes are suffering, you can't just have the backup of your mid laner coming in to try and level things out. So they're going to be left on their own. Meanwhile, obviously Team Unique gone with the Sand King and the Clockwork as their next picks. Sand King, obviously, very strong position 3, especially when dealing with a Sven. Just likes going up against those sort of melee cores. Deals him a decent amount of damage, like the Sandstorm and the stun control. With this clock pickup, I assume this is going to be their position 5 then. In the hands of Slayer. And then Biggenham's going to be taking the Keeper of the Light for the position 4. Unless, of course, FN's been playing the Kotl in the mid. And then maybe we might see that happen. Not too sure. I don't know. I think the only team I've seen really roll with a Kotl mid at the moment is Tundra, and they're not even in this tournament, so who knows? Maybe he's been practicing with it. We'll have to wait and see. But then if that is the case, if that's not the case, then obviously position 4 on the Kotl, and then the 5 clockwork. Normally, before 7.3, this would be completely the opposite way around. The Kotl would be the 5, and then the clockwork would be the 4.
10 seconds.
But I think just the combo with the Keeper and the Sand Kings is pretty damn strong. Like Burrow Strike into the Illuminate. It's a lot of burst damage. Pretty scary to play up against. And they might even maybe try running like a defensive try. Maybe they could do for like the first level. Because then you'd have like the cogs or the battery salts pretty much guarantee the connection from the Illuminate. It's a lot of unavoidable damage. It's a possibility. Don't have to do that, but it's on the cards. But so with these last set of bans, yeah, it's looking like Qwerty just after their offlaner, after they picked up the Phoenix, and Team Unique after their own mid. So the Mars gets banned, obviously a pretty strong ban out there. You never want to see it in conjunction with Phoenix. Their ultimates combine so damn nicely. Ember does get taken out as well. I think that's a hero that FN has played a fair few times, especially seeing as how his Lena's already been banned as well. I think the Void, yeah, the Void's been banned as well. They've literally just targeted all of his most played mids so far. There is still the Queen of Pain in the pool, which is his like next most picked one after all of these ones have already been removed. He was only played it twice. They also take out the puck. So here's what a core which can just make a lot of space with the Medusa in the early parts of the game. They've got to be able to get active. And they actually decided to go for the Snapfire. Okay, so is this a... I think FN has actually played that once. I think I remember seeing that like quite a while ago, actually. He ran it a few days ago. Or did he? Oh, according to Dopebuff, this is actually the first time they've picked Snapfire in this current patch. I swore that I saw... Oh no, they picked it once. They picked it once, then they lost with it. It was 5 days ago, so yeah, I'm pretty sure FN played it in the mid. And it's just weird. I think he went like a utility build, but if you're playing a core Snapfire, I think you have to just go straight in for like a DPS build. Yeah, your Maelstrom, and you go in for like the Daedalus and stuff, and just try and hold out until you get to the point where you can get the talent to allow Little Shredder to use attack modifiers, and then it's super, super strong. Or use your own damage, something like... I think it's use your own damage, not use attack modifiers. Otherwise, I mean, they've still got a decent amount of damage, actually. Obviously, the Epicenter, the Illuminate from the Kotl. But it'd actually be nice to have another core doing some proper, like, physical DPS with the Medusa. Or at least it's in the early parts of the game. I don't know if the Snap's really going to be able to boss out the earlies that much. I'll have to wait and see. The Storm Spirit's the last pick here from Qwerty. Yeah, Magikush taking that one. Eru on the Sven. Komar on the Clinks. So this is a position 3 Sven then? Yeah. Position 3 Sven on Eru. Going to be laning versus the Medusa and Clockwork. This will be interesting. Not quite sure how that's actually going to work out. Been a while since I've seen a position 3 Sven. A very long time, actually. So maybe it was just an afterthought. After they saw, obviously, the Medusa came out following the Sven, they just did not want to play up against that. So they just completely swapped it out to a different role. Which does make sense. It is a pretty awkward matchup. But yeah, like... Obviously, the Clinks takes a fair bit of time to come online. He obviously needs to get a couple of items. So they got roughly the same sort of timing with the Medusa in that respect. So... there is going to be a lot of space having to be made from the 2 mid laners, Magikush as well as FN. I mean, obviously, Petishara, you don't really see Sand Kings rotating all that much. They like to just sort of dominate their lane as much as they possibly can. And then maybe if they just destroy the lane early enough, then they can make moves to the other parts of the map. Then sort of similar with Eru. I imagine he's well, you probably wouldn't have. You can't really afford him to farm up because you can't have your Clinks and your offlaner both just continually farming. Someone has to make space for the other cores. So we'll see how he's going to adjust his build in this game to actually accommodate for that sort of playstyle. But either way, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 1 between Team Unique and Qwerty for the Dota 2 Champions League 2021. Both of these two teams are desperately after some victories, and to be honest, I think even if Qwerty win this series and their next 2, I still think they're probably not going to have enough victories to actually push through to the playoffs, which is a bit unfortunate. Team Unique, though, desperately to get this one. This is their final game. They might be able to get enough. But Unique actually going straight up to this high ground here. Slayer bumps into Eru. He's easily able to dodge it. And I guess this little first blood attempt here with the smoke from Unique doesn't actually end up netting a single thing. They should be able to secure up this bounty rune, though. Befezor, in response, should be able to take the opposing triangle.
30 seconds. And
there's actually no. Petishar is going to head back to try and contest it if he can. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad's going to hang around here. But no one on the side of Qwerty is going to fall for this. They should all just hang back. They're actually drawn out on the map there from Eru to try and wrap around the back. Maybe they want to try and go for the bounty rune there. Eru, though. I think he does get spotted. He's walking under the observer ward vision. He's got to be a little bit careful. He's on the complete wrong side of the river right now. He could easily get gone on. FN's going to lead things up there with the scatter blast, but Slayer just couldn't quite get close enough to get the battery assault connection. So, but even still, does end up being 3-for-1 trade on the bounties there in the favour of Team Unique. So just get that slight little bonus of cash injection. Okay, Slayer's just going to follow Eru. He's just going to harass him as much as possible. He just gives him the one cheeky tap. That's it. He doesn't do anything else. He doesn't use the battery assault. Literally just bonks him on the head and then walks off. And because of the armor reduction and stuff, he did absolutely nothing. Just a nice way to start the game is all. As well, Magikush actually secured all of the last hits. Actually gets every single one from the start, which is a very, very nice beginning for the lane. We'll see if FN's going to be as fortunate. He gets his first one. Doesn't get the second. He doesn't get the third. He doesn't get the fourth. Oh no. Already a lead side get built here from Magicus just after that first wave. He's able to secure up the second ridge cube there with the scatter blast. Oh, Fezzle just gets a free kill onto Bignum's courier there. I think he's still got his item delivered though. Oh, his Illuminate doesn't even connect onto any one of the heroes. Quite unlucky for him. But it's just so difficult to try and deal with Omni Knight playing like this. He just puts the Heavenly Grace on himself. He gets that bonus strength and everything, and he can easily just run at you and try and out-harass you. So it lasts for 10 seconds with 8 extra strength, 8 HP regen. The stat resistance doesn't make too much of a difference at this point. Only if he actually gets gone on from Petushara, but that's not really going to be likely to happen. At least not until they hit that level 3 mark. And then maybe Unique can try and go for some sort of aggressive play. And actually, I say that. They do dump a couple of spells onto Fezzle's face. So that's a bit of damage to him. He doesn't actually have any regen on him. I assume there's some coming out in the courier? Yeah, okay. He's got 1 stack of tangos. It's not really that much to carry on this sort of aggressive harassing, though. You'll need a little bit more than that. You want this mid? Actually does end up leveling out. 10-1 to 10-0.
Really?
Well, FN actually gets that deny. Pretty nicely timed. So how's this bot lane doing? Space 6-4 right now against the 8-4 of Eru. So pretty neck and neck between them. It's pretty similar CS to Combat, the counterpart position 1 as well. It's not like anyone's getting heavily dominated at these early parts. I mean, definitely Space is going to have to start trying to get some more CS soon. But I suppose it's actually pretty difficult trying to CS up against the Sven. Got pretty decent starter damage with the Quell and Blade as well. Hits for a damn chunk more. Just chucking the casual Mystic Stake on Terra. Maybe Slayer wants to try and go for the grab here. Area's going to be able to get the run out though. The battery assault connection is there, but even still, Slayer has to disengage. He'd have had the entire creep wave on him. And that probably would have been a very easy turnaround there for Unique to get that kill. Oh, Petshire with the stun into the Illuminate. It's a lot of damage. And he might have possibly been able to get that kill if Biglin was level 3. Extra 100 damage. Comart had about 190 afterwards, so it could have been pretty scary. Again, another jump forwards there. Jesus, so much damage. Fezzle, he doesn't actually have any tangos to cut the trees. He has to just run away. Is the right click going to be enough? No, it's not. He just about makes it out. Gets a salve delivered. And he has to just immediately use it on his carry. And he has to go for the long walk back to the base. So Comot's definitely going to be careful. There's going to be a pretty large window here for Unique to try and harass him out. They are lacking in mana though. Another Illuminate. Gets an easy connection to Comot. Oh my god. Just damage. It's just so disgusting to play up against. It's like, what can you do? Big Liam's just going to fire another one into the fog. If that gets a connection, it might just kill him. And it does! It actually kills him! It actually just gets the kill. A level 2 Illuminate from one end of the lane to the other. Gets it blind. Absolutely ridiculous amount of damage. This needs nerfing. This needs nerfing for sure. It's so broken. I don't think he... Was he in range for the experience there? I think he must have been. He must have been in range. That was ridiculous. Cheers for the follow though, Godzilla. Appreciate that, dude. And now eventually... Actually, yeah, Fezzle. He even TP'd to the mid to fill up Magikush's courier. He is now just going to make it back before Comot gets harassed out anymore. Look at Biglam's actually a higher level than his own core now. Actually, just equalised it. This is just the power of the position 4 Cottle, boys. It gives you that extra core. Who needs supports nowadays? 4 cores and 1. Just means Slayer's going to have to buy all those sentries himself. The sad life. Hey, that's what the game's come to nowadays. But still, pretty neck and neck in this mid lane. Just FN excelling in denies now. He's just about to hit his 6. Meanwhile, Magikush still about a 3rd level away. Oh, FN just going to drop down the Mormon's Kisses. Magikush, though, he's juking it pretty hard. He still gets hit by a couple of them, and he will fall. Very well capitalized there, FN. Realizing that there was no level 6 for Magikush to try and get like a zip out of the way. He just had to try and juke it as best he can. He dodged the first 3, but unfortunately, it just puts all that dot damage around you and gives all the vision as well for FN to play with. Very difficult thing to try and survive. Once again, Comot taking another chunk of damage at the top. Does have a salve. D2CL Fezzle's going to be giving as many of his tangos as he can. Get hit by another Illuminate. Didn't actually do much damage. I think Bigner must have ended that one prematurely. He thought he was going to get out of the range. He's still down on the bot. Space, farming away. And despite the fact that he's not really getting harassed out as much as Comot is, they've still got pretty much exactly the same CS. So it's just showing how well Eru's actually been able to do it. Keeping the CS under control. 27 and 8 on him. What was actually the net worth difference between the 2 cores? 21 to 25. So only about 300 odd gold difference there. Pretty negligible at this stage of the game. Oh, but in the mid. Look at Magikush tried to go for a kill there onto FM with the help of Petru, but got the successful TP away. Fezzle wanted to see if there was a free bounty rune you could steal. Not going to be so fortunate. Ooh, Veil of Discord actually coming out on the courier there for Petushara. Now it's just the magic damage burst coming out from this off lane is going to be even more disgusting. How are you going to survive this? I don't know if you can. Just remove the 3 Null Talismans who's getting 9% spell amp with the, what was it, 20% magic damage? 18%. So really... Illuminate's now getting buffed by 27% damage. So, and about a quarter of that extra is about 80. Yeah, 80 damage on top of that. So hitting for 400, but now it's about to be level 3. So now it's going to be hitting for 530 damage with all of that on top. Actually, no, he went for the Blinding Light instead. Petushard's even going to drop his Epicenter for this. It's a lot of damage, but in comes Fezzle to try and help out. He drops the heal as well as the Heavenly Grace, but still the Illuminates does so much damage. He gives him the mana as well to allow Petushard to jump in, but the Heavenly Grace, it keeps him alive. Petushard takes a lot of hits in return, and he will actually manage to stay alive through that. Incredible. Meanwhile, I missed that down at the bot. FN makes his first rotation of the game himself, secures the kill onto Eru, and now at last it's going to be a bit of space for space. To try and start progressing his own farm. And just for these few moves, all 3 cores on the side of Team Unique at the top of the net worth. 3,000 gold lead already. A zip forward there from Magikush. They didn't have any detection. What? Why are you trying to kill a Sand King when you have no dusts, no sentries? I guess he was just hoping he could get the Vortex before he could pop it. Maybe then they could have got the kill. He was still, that's very ill prepared. And yeah, this gold lead is just going to get even bigger. 3,000 gold solid lead at 8.5 minutes in. That's absolutely ridiculous. Looks like Fez or Magicus going for this little smoke play into the jungle. They will run into Bignum here. And I think this will just be the free kill. Which ain't too bad. Bignum's been a massive pain in the ass, so they will take that for sure. Magicus, though, he's maybe going to get caught. The Veil of Discord's going to ramp up the damage a little bit. Magicus, he's faking out the jump. Will now go for the zip forwards, but he's completely out of mana. And FN's just going to keep chase. This guy is dead for sure. Or is it? The heals from Fezzle? No, he only delays the inevitable. He still falls.
It ain't about who's fast.
Pretty unlucky for him that FN had the haste rune. I think even if he had a double damage, he probably would have ended up surviving from that one. So just fortunate runes there for Unique. Allowing them to get their kills. And Comma, he might end up dying here up top again. Just the slow, absolutely massively hard to deal with. They get the dust connection on him. He's going to try and juke backwards. His almost connects onto the creep, so they realise where he is. They still keep a chase. Petashar gets a connection. Another Illuminate. Bang. Oh, he's still alive. One more hit. There you go. He finishes. Magicus tried to come in there with the save. The Morpus Kiss is raining in from FN. It's probably going to force Magicus to disengage. He's trying to predict the direction he's going. And it does get a couple of connections. Another Illuminate. Bang. Down he goes. Double kill for Bignum. And there is no way this is balanced. The damage from a Kotl should not be like this. And only like sub 10 minutes in. Loki's nearly hit his level 7 for a position 4 before the 10-minute mark. If he takes the tome as well, that would be so greedy. I'm sure he's going to allow Slayer to get it. Give some support for position 5. Yeah, he'll get the tome. Now with his own 6, maybe he can actually start joining in the fun with the rest of his team. Maybe try and set up some kills as well. As I don't think there's any way that Qwerty can try and defend this tower. Yeah, it's just going to die for sure. Anyone who shows up is just going to end up giving away another kill to either Petashar or Bignum. Either one feels pretty rough. What's he actually even getting delivered? Okay, just a couple of wards. We still got 940 gold sat in his pocket. We'll see what he's going to end up building into. We actually look at this. Bignum pretty much has the same net worth as Comma. That is a very bad position to be in there for Qwerty. You carry having the same farm as an enemy support. Oof, that's going to put him behind so hard. Especially seeing as how Space is actually accelerating quite nicely himself. 1,500 gold over top of the Clinks himself. He's now just going to start casually farming up. I don't think there's actually been many stacks made here. I think there was a couple of stacks on the normal creep camp, but Bignum actually just ended up farming that himself. Playing that more greedy style. Whatever works. Looks like Fezzle will get denied onto this sentry here. Can he kill the courier? He just needs one more hit onto it. There you go. Kills the courier, but at least Fezzle was able to get the trade. Got the Observer Ward kill at least. What talking about? Trades. Petru. He's going to run down. He does have a 6. He can try and dive away, but he can't. You can't dive away against Clockwork when he's on top of you. Just your dive gets immediately cancelled out from the mini-stun. That's so sad. Ends up giving away another kill towards FM, who's got his bots online and a casual 2,000 gold sat in his pocket. We'll see what he's going to build into. I mean, at this rate, he can just go for that sort of utility build that he's done before in the past, because his team's dominating already. He doesn't need to try and get any early damage online. He could just give them a bit more survivability to just guarantee that their victory continues in these fights. And Slay actually sends him getting the grab hit onto Fezzle, steals the haste rune, and easy setups for the Mortimer's Kisses. Yet again, another kill going towards Unique. Slayer actually got that one himself this time. Oh, and now he might be able to afford the luxury of brown boots for position 5. Whoa! He's rolling in it. Actually, he still doesn't have to bite yet, but you know, it's coming. His feet ain't going to hurt so much anymore. You know, what's Petru doing? He's just been chilling at the bot, making sure this tower stays alive for as long as possible. And he's only 500 gold away from his own Blink. And speaking of Blink Daggers, that was actually the choice there for FN. And 4-star finished up for Bignum as well. So just a big round of items finished up for Team Unique. Another power spike for them. And they don't even really need to act on it too badly. A 5,000 gold lead at 30 minutes is absolutely disgusting. Very difficult to play against here for Qwerty. They need to make as much space for Comet as they can, but he's just suffering so hard. This is the thing. Clinks is not one of those heroes that can recover from lanes that easily. I mean, sure, the added feature of the Burning Barrage can be quite nice, but unless your team's made a load of stacks for you to get like a big combination off of it, it's still going to be slow as hell. And especially until he gets that Maelstrom. Once that's online, it will help out a fair bit, but he's still 300 gold away from it. And then the acceleration is only going to be negligible. They're still not going to be able to meet anywhere near the pace that the space is going to be able to set here. As that lead just keeps on growing. Now pretty much 2,000 gold. So it's got the Yasha Dragon Lance now. I imagine he's probably going to be going in for the Manta style. As you can obviously purge away the Fire Spirit slow. You can time it maybe to dodge the Storm Hammer. Actually, no, I don't think you can dodge Storm Hammer. Or can you? Yeah, I think you can. As well as maybe an Orchid if it does come out from Magickush. Yeah, he does have the Orchid already finished, so going to be a very nice defensive item to deal with that. But I've not actually seen Magickush do anything with this item yet. I think he's just got it finished up as he has no money here. But he needs to actually try and find the kill to make this early buy worthwhile. Otherwise, it just ends up being dead net worth the longer you spend with it going inactive. Oh, hookshot forward there from Slay. Gets the connection onto Petru. Try and hold him in place. Meanwhile, though, the rest of the squad have jumped onto Big One. But he gets the force off backwards. He's going to be locked now. Never mind. The Barrage does finish him off. But even still, massive trades off. Magickush and Eru both die immediately. The egg, it actually survives there for Petru. He's going to be able to dive out. Slayer's now completely trapped. He does get the cold collection there onto Comet. Try and lock him in. Oh, the cookie. I think it just got the stun. But even still, Petru does trade. Fezzle, just a sliver of HP left. He's going to hide in the trees if he can. Going for the TP out. But they get the spot. He's dead as well. So 4 kills there being found for Team Unique. It costs them the lives of their 2 supports. But it's still going to be a nice trade. Actually, I imagine the gold trade's probably not too bad, actually. Because I imagine Bignum was worth a fair chunk. Actually, it's only worth 247. Pretty much the same as the Storm. So yeah, definitely still golden experience values going into the advantage of Unique there. And actually, looks like they're going for another go. Magickush trying to go for the connection, but the stun came in there from Petru to give him the space. Fortunately for Magickush, there wasn't anybody else to the side of Unique there to try and finish him off. As this is the downside of this game. Like, if Magickush tries to go for the initiation onto anybody, there's either going to be Petrishara that can jump in immediately with the Blink Burrow, or Slayer from far with a hook. And speaking of that, they both immediately get used at the same time to just obliterate Fezzle. That was weird.
Life already did the brunt of that work.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bignum actually going in for his own Orchid now, which is going to be a very effective item against the Storm yet again. I mean, he does have a BKB queued up, but Magickush just really keeps getting his game delayed more and more, so it's going to be a fair bit of time before that BKB is going to be anywhere near completion. I mean, he's already bottom farmed core. I mean, he is similar with Petishara there. Petishara pretty much has what he needs. He doesn't exactly require any other items for a fair bit of time. Going to have so much effectiveness with the Blink Vela Discord combo. Slayer does see Eru. I think he's thinking about going for... Actually, no, his hookshot's still on cooldown for another 7 seconds. But still, Petishara with the Epi. This is a dead Sven for sure. Can't even get his stun off. And just another kill going towards Unique. A solid 8k gold advantage now. Like a few members of Qwerty were down at the bot. Maybe they're thinking about trying to go for the tier 2. But they just don't really have a decent tower pushing lineup. A Storm doesn't like to hit towers. A Sven can do, but it's only position 3. And obviously you'd have to really use his God Strength to actually do anything at all. And the Clinks can be effective as well, but that would be such a massive waste of time to just try and beat into these tier 2s. Normally you would rely on like your offlane to do like the subtle pushes in this sort of case. But again, Eru's not able to actually get much accomplished. I'm kind of surprised he still went with the Echo Saber. Like, still sort of a position 1 kind of build. I thought maybe he would have just gone straight in for the Blink Daggers, try and actually start helping out the rest of his team, find some kills, and actually make some space for him.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Maybe that decision could have ended up screwing him over. Will he illuminate?
Radiant should look
Did that
to
give the
their
vision onto
middle tower.
Petru? I don't think it did. He's still safely just hiding away. Just chopping out the fire spirits now. Hook the shot there. They see him. Do they want to go for a blind hook? Oh, it was just slightly too early there from the clockwork. And Petru's actually going to be able to survive that. But I mean, even still, it doesn't matter. The tier 2 ends up falling down. Outpost can now be captured away. And maybe Unique can just go Roche now. They've got so much like amazing vision in this vicinity that if Qwerty tried to mount any sort of counterplay, it'll easily be red and give plenty of time for Unique to react to it. Especially with how Epi's going to be up in 10 seconds as well. Yeah, I think they're probably good. Looks like they're not going to though. They're going to just chill a little bit. They don't want to play too greedily too soon. I mean, this is just going to give more opportunities for Qwerty to try and progress their own game. And Magic is still miles off that BKB. Blink is online for Eru though. So they do have some decent forms of initiation. So Unique, just constantly grouped up now. Just ready to push in towers or take fights, wherever comes their way. If anyone on the side of Qwerty decides to step out, they're actually going to go for this little 4-man smoke here. They're going to leave space hitting into the tower, so I guess they're just trying to bait him out. They're worried about going into the high ground, as actually Qwerty have gone for a smoke play themselves. It doesn't look like they're going to... Or are they? I think they might end up jumping onto Spacey. He's got to be careful, as the rest of his team's already left the area. They were all heading up towards the top to try and find Magikush. The smoke breaks. But he gets the read. He jumps out. Oh, Magikush actually went to a short-range zip there. I mean, he doesn't need to go any further. Apart from the Burrow Strike, the only thing that can grab him there would be the hook shot. But I don't think Slayer was in the right spot. Too many people in the way.
There he goes.
He's still fresh set of creeps coming in for the mids with a catapult as well. So I think this is going to be end of the second tier 2 here for Qwerty. Maybe Unique could try to push for more as well. We'll have to wait and see. It looks like Qwerty are actually going to try and force a fight here. It's going to be a difficult one. But actually, if they go now, it's pretty good. Space is miles away from the rest of his team. It's just FN and Slayer in the vicinity. Eru already popping his ultimate. Actually going to jump onto position 5, Clockwork said. Meanwhile, Commart trying to do some damage to the back ones to Petishar and FN. It does a hell of a lot, and it forces them both away. Magikush re-engages as well. Petishar falls. Bignum's going to fall. Very nicely played from Qwerty. Grab 3 quick, easy kills. And now it looks like they're going to try and go Roche themselves. This is the double damage on Magikush as well. Made that so much easier. And Unique, I think they realise this is going on. But they do still have Mortimer's Kisses left. And the FN's just going to chuck them there, force them out of the pit as much as possible. They're actually going to dive forwards aggressively towards the Snapfire if they can. Space. Very early pop there off the Stone Gaze. It actually just right-clicks down Petru. Oh, he forces the egg. They're going to jump backwards. Magikush though doesn't want to let him escape for free. But it looks like he will manage to make it. But still, this Roche down to about 3rd HP. And Qwerty now about to be forced away as the entirety of Unique has now respawned. So they've lost their opportunity. They've lost the egg. They got absolutely no ultimates left. Actually, Petishar is still jumping forwards. Looks like they can grab the free kill onto Furzo. And ends up being a godlike spree for FN. And now, Roshan, which has kindly been weakened there from Qwerty. Yeah, there's nothing that Qwerty could do to stop it. Free Aegis if you need. Giving him towards space as well. But even still after that fight, one before, where Qwerty came out top with the 3 kills, it did actually give a big chunk of gold there towards Commart. So he's not a million miles behind now. He's still about 3,000 gold behind Space. But it can be dealt with. Meanwhile, while I'm talking about that, Magikush ends up dying another time up top. Actually, a catapult here as well for Unique. And Space is going straight up to the high ground. There's no glyph to actually stop this. So I think Qwerty going to have to bring quite a few team members to actually push him off here.
May the light keep.
Just a couple of them there is actually enough to force away. But Space still just going to march himself back up. No creeps in sight yet. They're about to arrive. But even still, if it's just Petru and Fezzle here, I don't think there's any way they can keep this. The tier 3 is going to fall. Oh, Petru tried jumping forwards there. Unfortunately, the Barrel Strike not quite in range.
Barracks are under
He wants
attack.
aerial invis. He wants to jump into the back lines if he can.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Unique are ready for it. They're all in a very defensive position right now. They're just seeing if anyone on the side of Qwerty decides to jump for space. He's just going to carry on siege on the high ground as best as he can. Well, they do spot Eru, and they're immediately going to jump onto him. The Sven caught miles outside the base, and there's no response that his team can make to try and get it. Actually, Slayer gets a jump forwards. He nearly got the Cogs connection onto Petri. He was able to disengage. Magicus. It's a very bold charge forwards there. Petri's going to right click down. He does actually have a dive. FN, he just jumps forwards to right click. He didn't use the dive. He's been way too greedy on that hold. Just cost him his life. FN even dropping the Mortimer's Kisses. Oh, the Yule Scepter there onto Combat. They were thinking about popping the epicenter. Actually, the dive forwards to Magicus. She's getting to silence. That's just going to be a dead Sand King. A little bit of an overextension there from Petushara. Ends up being a free grab for Qwerty. But even still, they took the tier 3. They took the melee barracks. They lost the Sand King. But even still, they got a couple of kills for it, as well as forcing a buyback onto the enemy Sven. So just very nice turn events yet again here for Team Unique. Just further cementing their lead in this game. 12,000 gold advantage at 24 minutes in. Space, Butterfly, Manta, Dragon Lance. Building in towards the Skadi next item. And Komar is trying to work towards the Daedalus. He can get the Demon Edge now. And then he'd only be about 800 gold of having the full completed item. But obviously then he won't be able to have any sort of buyback. So if he dies, then it could be sort of like an easy high ground siege there from Unique. Does Burning Barrage have a chance to miss if people have evasion? Because it uses attack modifiers. So I don't know if he actually needs to get MKB or not. I'm not sure. But Unique actually going for this little 4-man smoke. It looks like they found the grab here onto Eru, who I don't think he was expecting more to be there. Magicus actually jumping in himself. He goes the silence onto Bignum. It might be a lot of damage. Is the Orchid going to be popping off? No, he actually survives. And then Magicus just dies as well. So Qwerty giving away another 2 kills there. And he couldn't even get the grab onto the poor old Kotl, who's now got more farm than Magicus and Eru. Even his own offlaner. The power of Kotl's nowadays, boys. This is absolutely ridiculous. Just 4-staff as well as Orchids. Just heals himself up with the Illuminate, because why the hell not? Doesn't need to go back at all, ever. Crazy stuff. And he's got the Ghost Scepter queued up next. I wonder if he's just going to go straight in for an E-Blade. He might very well do. We still yet again another high ground siege coming out here. Magicus just doing the big zip to kill the creeps. But I mean, didn't even obviously you can't kill the catapult in that situation, so still going to allow space to just beat into this with the damage coming out from the catapult as well. I'm going to try and push him away with the Sun Ray as well as a couple of hits with the Burning Barrage, but that's not enough to do anything at this point. The tier 3 is still going to end up dropping. Is there anything that Qwerty can really do to defend this? I mean, Daedalus has to be completely for Kombat, so it's a big burst of damage. Toshar, gonna jump forwards, try and make some space. They get the stun onto Kombat with the Mortimer's Kisses coming out, which already forced the egg. And that's just an immediate disengagement there. A very early usage of the Phoenix egg from Petri. Bit of a waste. And now they're going to have to try and defend their high ground with one of their big team for ultimates on cooldown. Petri being very ambitious here with these big zips. Obviously there's no like instant disable here from Unique, like a Hex or anything like that that could just get the grab. Actually, I think they got Yules. Yeah, Petri does have a Yule. So if he does that again, he could just get connected on from that, and that would just end up being his life. Especially with how he's abandoned his efforts to go for the BKB. I guess he sort of realised that his team is losing this game anyway. Even if he had the BKB and he could survive a bit of time, it's not going to be much difference. So actually, while I'm talking about that, come on. Does get ran on a little bit, but with the help from the Omni Knight, he's easily able to disengage. But instead, Eru actually jumps to Son and to FM. The zip forward there from Magicus. They get the silence onto the Sorcerer with the epicenter. It's a lot of damage. The Illuminate comes through, hits onto 3 of them. They're all super low. Combat's actually, Magicus is still going to die. Eru is on low HP, but he's going to be able to get himself out of here. Unless there's going to be another jump forwards from the other members of Unique. All the Burning Barrage there from Combat. It grabs an easy kill there onto Petushara. In the wrong place at the wrong time. But even still, despite the fact they lost their Sand King, Team Unique are not deterred from pushing high ground yet again. Space up there, beating into these buildings. Egg's still on cooldown for 30. Heavenly Grace, Guardian Angel, sorry, still cooldown for 2 more minutes. As well as God Strength down for a minute. So really, there's not much left here for Qwerty to fight with. So this is going to have to be the right clicks alone from Comart to keep him in it. And Space just tanks that pretty hard. Probably didn't need to. Ended up using a lot of his mana, but even still, he does about 3/4 of damage to the tower. Just the ranged barracks left at the bot lane as well. So this game is getting very close to Megas already at 28 minutes in. And Uniques is the draft that actually, I think, does better with time. Actually, no, I don't think it is. I think this game went to like an hour or something. I think Qwerty's lineup would be slightly more effective. But I don't think Unique are going to let him go that long. I think they're probably going to try and close this game out before then. Well, Eru even gets caught from the Medusa illusions there. Yosef's going to hold them in place, but the rest of the team is here. The jump force Effort Slayer, he gets the connection onto Comart with the Morm's Kiss on top. There's going to be a lot of damage onto this Clinks. The egg is there, though, from the Phoenix, which does get the kill onto Slayer. It's going to allow Comart to disengage. Or re-engage. He's not quite sure which way he's running. But Eru was still the first casualty of their fight. Only gets the trade onto Slayer. And again, the Phoenix egg gets used. So Unique's just back up to the high ground once more. The tier 3 already gone. Another little barrage left from Comart. It does do a fantastic job of dealing with the mana pool of space pretty quickly. But, okay, I'll say that. The immediate mana heal comes through. Oh, Petru. Seemed like a ballsy dive. He was not punished for it. Well, Space actually got a Satanic online as well. So now it's even more difficult to try and find this kill before. Wow, I think that was an instant roast respawn. That timer just went woof. That was extremely quick. But I don't think Unique's even really that bold about trying to find it. Oh, come on. Does actually poke onto Petishar a little bit, as well as just killing the creep wave. And he feels comfortable doing this. He's got pretty much the entirety of his team sat right behind him. It's only Magikush that's in the base dealing with the creeps. Unique actually do just realise Roche is up now. So, Qwerty realise this as well. And they're going to try their best to deal with Unique around this pit area. I mean, if they had their egg, they could take this fight and maybe come out on top, but it's still called out for another 15 seconds. If they're fortunate, Roshan might still actually be alive for that amount of time. And Comart's just chucking in the barrage as much as he can, trying to push Space out, but this man's just so tanky in the mana shield. It's just not really been able to do anything to him at all. Roshan now down to a core HP, but Egg is back up. Comart popping out once forward, gets hooked on immediately there from Slayer, who just gets obliterated for the amount of damage, and still Comart gets pulled in, just eviscerated in a second. Eru trying to go into Space, but nothing he could do. Comart even immediately bought back for this jump was a Magikush. He couldn't get the Aegis though. Space still got the grab. He even gets hit from the Ulcept there into the Burrow Strike. There is the Egg that gets a connection onto the Sand King alone, and maybe Comart might have the damage to get it. Petri just going for the Invis TP out, and there's no way for Qwerty to stop him. So of all of that, Unique only lose the Clockwork, whilst at the same time they got the kill onto the Clinks, the Sven, and get an Aegis for themselves as well. So fortunately, Qwerty couldn't get anything out of that engagement at all, which is quite unfortunate. It looked like maybe they could, but just the immediate burst damage onto Comart at the very start was absolutely ridiculous. With the Veil and everything else, it does such quick work of anybody. Yeah, I love the Ags on Kotl. It's so strong. Just that big old disco ball. It just makes team fights so goddamn awkward. Especially when your team doesn't really have any other big team formers to play with. They do have the Epicenter, but even still, everyone's a little bit more preferable. And Space just getting zipped on and Storm having us up, but he doesn't care. He just secures Megas, and that's it. With the double damage on as well for where it's about to run out. He's still just going to continue to beat onto these tier 4s. Going to force some sort of reaction from Qwerty. Or this will just be GG. They're just tossing a couple of spells from afar. Slayer does get initiated onto, but Perishar was in there for the save as well as Bignum. He gets pretty low, but Magikush, he gets controlled. This man's dead. He does have a buyback. He's going to immediately come back into this. See if he does get the zip connection onto Bignum, perhaps. Eru tries to jump onto him, does actually finish off the Kotl. FN gets the immediate response. The Daedalus to the face just shreds him with a little shredder. It looks like Petro might get caught out as well. He does die. Space does get the trade onto Petru though. And now he's all alone. He doesn't have any mana left to play with, but he does still have the Aegis to play with though. Meanwhile, Magicus does get the finish onto FN. 10k streak going into his pockets. 1600 gold! Jesus Christ. Magicus is a rich man now. I mean, that's actually a pretty decent hold, to be fair. They did use a buyback on the Storm Spirit, sure. But even still, I guess it does end up being a 3 for 3. And the Medusa, the most important hero on the side of Unique, didn't even die the once. So this Aegis is still going to be available for the next, like, 2.5 minutes. We've even got the old MKB queued up next. And she's pretty close to be able to insta-buy it. I'm quite surprised she didn't just wait for the creeps to spawn and just kill them both again. But I don't know, do Qwerty actually have any means of being able to turn this game around? It's so difficult. Like, they're going to have to constantly deal with megas. I mean, maybe if they just get, like, the dream combination. Like, Magicus really needs this Ags, which he has in 400 gold. So once he has this, he can, like, zip in. If he gets, like, a 4-man Vortex into Stormhammer, into Barrage, with the Phoenix Egg going off as well, that could be the damage and everything they need to actually bring themselves back into this game. But obviously, that relies on a bit of a misplay from Team Unique. They require them to actually be bunched up to allow that to happen. Like, right now, if they just suddenly found that fight, that probably could have been the thing that Qwerty would be looking for. But even still, Unique going to go for a 5-man smoke here. Once again, just pushing him through the mid. They're going to head up towards the top. Space's smoke actually breaks, and I think they got the spot onto that. Yeah, Space is going to walk himself up to the high ground here. Dealing with all those little skeletons. And hit onto tier 4s, big them. He's still got the silence initially still onto Sven, but a bit too deep to try and go for a grab. The Space is just going to carry on poking and prodding as best as he can. Just constant muddle being funneled into him from Bignum. Looks like Magicus. I think he's just got enough money to finish his Ags. Yes, he does. So now he has that power spike. They need that big play, but Eru is actually jumping already. He gets hit by the immediate silence. He's trying to disengage. The disco will pulls him in. He is gone, but he will probably have to buy back. He needs the rest of his team. Combat even gets caught. He's going to pop his BKB, try and stand his ground with Heavenly Grace. Just look forward there from Magicus. Only gets the Vortex onto the Medusa alone. That's not really going to be enough. And even still, looks like Slayer will be the first casualty to fall here for Team Unique. Space trying to stand his ground, even pops Satanic. The turnaround over Petro with the Epicenter. It catches onto 3, it's a lot of damage. Every falls, dive back from him. So no Sven for the rest of this fight. Another zip forward there from Magicus. He gets the pull to Petro, finishes him off. Space though does still finish off Petro in return. The first life is gone. Axe is coming back into this. The immediate buyback as well from Petru. So Qwerty not done yet. They ain't giving up. They're still trying their best to keep this game going. And Combat's just trying to deal with the Mega Creeps at the same time, while Space going to finish off this first tier 4. The second one's short to follow, I imagine. Even still, the Sunray as well as the Barrage does a lot of damage. But even still, with the amount of heal and sustain that they've got on the side of Unique, Space isn't really threatened that much. But it looks like they are just going to accept what they've got, and they will fall back. They're not just going to double down and carry on pushing up to the high ground just yet. There's also a Daedalus that just got fully completed death from Space, so an even bigger power spike now for the next high ground siege. Versus a base that literally just has one tier 4 left standing with only 400 HP. Not really enough to play around at all. So they're still just very desperate for a big Vortex here. Magicus has to find it. If he can't find that, it's just a matter of time before Qwerty ends up dropping here.
What a purty hue.
Sanking up in a couple of seconds, and I imagine immediately Unique are going to go back in for the second push. Space not even like fully waiting for him, just constantly in there already. Now every member of Unique in the area, Space still just beating into towers on his own. Does get just a couple of spells chucked onto him from afar, which does burn away his entire mana pool. But even still, you know, Bignum's just going to be chucking that Chakra Magic on him straight away. Slowly bring him back up to full mana. Back to beating into tower again. The final defense there for Qwerty has been removed. It's just down to the player, the skill of the players now. They actually do get the initiation onto space once more. The jump was Magic. It's just the one-man vortex yet again. That's still not quite going to be enough. The disco ball in the backlines trying to disrupt up as much as they can, and they're just going to completely avoid the egg there from Unique. And it looks like they're not going to try and pressure more. Once again, they fall back. Going to count doing anything. FN actually TPs all the way back to Triangle. I guess he just wants to finish his Daedalus right now. And he probably doesn't even need to bother saving up for buyback. Like, they've still got 2 of their tier 1s, as well as the tier 2 at the bot. So even if like they all die with no buyback, there's still no way that Qwerty's just going to be able to like end this game. Let's look at the powerhouse of this man. FN, 1 Daedalus, about to be 2 Daedalus, with the casual card sand as well. Because the damage output of this woman is pretty damn high. Especially with the little shredder using attack damage. So each hit will be doing 270 odd, 280, with the chance of 2 different Daedalus crits. And it's actually only a quarter level away from the multi-shot, which is going to be another massive power spike. It could just end up shredding the entire team of Qwerty if they get caught in the wrong spot. This is some sneaky plays here from Eru. I don't know if he's in the range of this sentry ward or not. No, they don't realize he's there. He's actually just out of the range. So maybe this little sneak attack from Qwerty might be enough. Probably not. It seems he just steps out of position. But it looks like maybe Unique is just going to settle down, wait for the next Roche, which is again another super fast spawn. What the hell, man? Magikush just zipping all over the place. Just trying to get as much farm as he possibly can. Just to try and make sure their team isn't get outpaced too hard. But still, the 3rd Roche going to end up falling for Team Unique here. Nothing Qwerty can do to stop this. Aegis, Cheese, and Shard, Refresher Shard. I guess they'll give the Shard over to FN, maybe? Have like the double kisses, perhaps? Or Pet Shard? I don't think they can bother Pet Shard. Actually, no, they give it to Bigdom. The double disco ball, man. Actually, that's really strong. As well as 2 uses of his Aeon Disc as well. That's actually pretty damn good. So this could possibly be the final push coming in here from Unique. Once again, Eru's trying to get this like little cheeky backstab play here. Oh, Bigdom immediately runs into him, pops his Aeon Disc, and he blink daggers backward just to avoid the stun from Petu Shard. The disco ball's already getting dropped. Petu, he just gets annihilated. The crits there from the little shredder as well as space was just too much to deal with. They do get the pullback onto the Medusa. He's getting really low. That will be the first life actually dropping already, but even still, the Leicester team taking a lot of damage. Eru will fall in the backlines. It's already down to a 5 versus 3. Is there enough here for Qwerty to try and keep themselves in it? Magikush once again pulling in. He gets a nice vortex onto a couple of them. It's not enough damage to get the kill to Petu Shard. He will pop, but it looks like Magikush will get traded this. He does have a buyback. Force going to pop it. There's satanic usage there from space. It's just a disengage. But they're all still alive. And they've got another 40 seconds without the Phoenix or the Sven. Another zip forwards there from Magikush. Trying to poke onto Bigdom. It's actually getting pretty low. One more hit. Commart will find the kill. The disco ball's already been dropped, dragging Commart back in. He hasn't got much mana to play with. Petu Shard also going now for the epicenter play. Burrow into him. This could just be a dead Klingston. Sure enough, he will buy back immediately. But even still, they've got to get to this Ancient pretty quick. It's already on half HP. The creeps are focused onto it. They do so immediately get annihilated onto Fezzle there. Even Magikush gets caught out. He's dead. Commart was alone. And there's no way he could save the Ancient. For the first game, going over towards Team Unique there. Just once again, just outplaying Qwerty in every sort of situation. I mean, they had like a 3,000 gold lead at like 7 minutes in. Just that alone shows you how well the lanes went for Team Unique, and they were just able to keep that momentum going. There wasn't really much at any point that Qwerty managed to push them back. I mean, they did actually get that triple kill in the mid lane, but then it immediately failed when they tried going Roche and didn't even have the damage to kill it, which was quite unfortunate for them. But you know, that's just how the cookie crumbles. That's how Dota works. But even still, GG to Team Unique. Game number 2 will come up soon. But if you've enjoyed this game, and my cast, please think about following my Twitch and YouTube. All my links are down below. And yeah, stick around for game number 2, which is coming up pretty soon.